What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. If you click it, you could become a member. All you got to do is try recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to. So click the damn link. Now, with that being said, we're here today for another video. Last time I did the top 5 best horror endings. Now I'm about to do the top 5 worst horror endings. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. There is so many damn bad horror movies out there. There's bad horror movies from beginning to end, and there's some movies that are decent and just have horrible endings. But these are the top 5 with one honorable mention that I came up with on my own. I just sat back and thought about it, and those are the ones that came to my mind. So I'm gonna just go ahead and run with it. So, honorable mention, we have It Chapter 2. Now, following the success of the first Chapter 1, starring Bill Skarsgård and a bunch of other kids, who became really successful actors and actresses later on down the line. We have the Loser Club growing up and basically kind of moving on from Derry and just living their lives. But eventually, something has summoned them back to Derry, the death of a friend. And what ends up happening is that slowly but surely, as they get back into Derry, they start regaining their memories because for some reason, as they're far away from Derry, they have suppressed his memories. They forgot about it. They forgot about all the bad things. It's like a cloud that's over their head has just all of a sudden dissipated. But once they go back to Derry, all of these things come back into play. The first movie is well done, and this movie is pretty well rounded as well too. The problem that I have is at the end. So we get to the loser boy or the losers club. They go downstairs or go into the sewer system to have that final battle with it. It shows its true form, big it head, spider-like body. Shout out is basically a callback to the made-for-TV version of it. And what they find out is that by telling it, I'm not afraid of you, or by confronting their fears, that's what makes it weaker, and eventually that's what defeat him. So essentially, it gets defeated by bullying.
You're just a clown.
You're a weak old woman.
A headless boy! Monster! A mimic!
Fucking bully!
You are stupid. You are stupid. And don't forget, you are stupid.
Why you bully me? You fucking bitch, why you bully me? Everyone asking.
I mean, dude, if this was the case, we would have roasted it. It would have never survived at my high school because as soon as he would have walked up with that big ass apricot head, we would have been on this shit. Head looked like an avocado seed. We would have been on this shit. And the point of to me, it was just such a lackluster ending from such a good first film. Like Chapter 1 to me was fucking fantastic. Chapter 2, that ending was just lackluster, and it just left me a little bit disappointed with what could have been. So, like I said, that's one of my honorable mentions. It Chapter 2, 2019 movie. Shout outs to them for trying. Coming in at number 5. Probably should have been higher, but we have Seed of Chucky, 2004. Now, Seed of Chucky is a movie that nobody asked for. This movie basically following the ending of Bride of Chucky, where Tiffany has a baby. And I'm thinking that this baby is just going to be a psychomaniacal deviant, but you really just have a movie kind of solely based around a character's sexuality, right? And whether what he chooses to identify with. If he wants to identify as a boy, or does he want to identify as a girl? So this whole movie is basically trying to teach Glenn or Glenda to become the person that they truly want to be, or the person that they're comfortable with. This movie is terribly done, and it stars Jennifer Tilly, Redman, and some other cast members. And it's essentially Chucky and Jennifer Tilly's character are trying to inhabit the bodies of other people. They want to impregnate. They end up impregnating Jennifer Tilly's character with Chucky's super sperm or voodoo sperm, which seems to be it exacerbates the pregnancy process. So Jennifer Tilly shows signs of pregnancy the very next day, and within a couple of days, she's ready to have kids. She's ready to just birth them. Right during this process, Chucky comes to some final conclusion, like, hey, you know what? You go through this whole movie about Chucky and Jennifer Tilly, and Tiffany's character wanting to finally get put into real bodies, right? That's the whole damn movie. And honestly, it's been the freaking calling card of every single freaking Chucky movie from since the beginning. So it's funny that we get all the way to see the Chucky, and then Chucky finally has this just thought. He finally just comes to this conclusion, like, hey, I'm cool with being in this doll body. I don't need this shit. So what he ends up doing is sabotaging Tiffany's chances of becoming pregnant, tries to kill Jennifer Tilly, backfires. He ends up killing Tiffany instead. Glenn gets pissed off.
You serious?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Ends up killing Chucky, and then identifies himself as Glenn, right? He ends up, eventually we find out at the end of the movie that he has transferred his soul into one of the children, and the movie basically ends on a cliffhanger with Chucky's hand popping out of a box. Now, this is just a bad movie from beginning to end. Like, overall is just really stupid. But to me, the whole like having twins and Glenn and just having Glenn try to figure out who he wants to be, like, I don't know, man. It just seems so weird at the time. Like, it's just a dumb concept that wasn't executed correctly. It was a storyline that nobody really saw coming and nobody really asked for. So I don't know, man. Like, that the movie was just dumb as shit. Like, it was dumb. Also, Chucky finally coming to the realization that he's okay with being a doll. What, freaking 5 movies in is also pretty damn ridiculous if you ask me. But hey, I mean, neither here nor there. Coming in at number 4, we have the 2019 movie Us. Now, I was blessed to end up seeing this movie at a pre-screening event. That's where I met the homie Jody's Corner. Shout outs to him. Guys might want to check his channel out. He has great content. This movie stars what's her name? Lupita Nyong'o and a bunch of other damn characters. M'Baku from fucking Black Panther. I can't think of his name right now. The point of the movie is that there's the little girl at the beginning of the movie, and she ends up wandering into this maze, and then she ends up running into somebody that looks just like her, and then the movie starts. Later down the line, she ends up going back to the place in which, you know, she had this run-in with the other person. Eventually her and her family are attacked by the others, basically the people, or the tethered, the people that look exactly like them, but they're the evil versions in red jumpsuits, and they're all bearing brown gloves and scissors, right? Aside from having some of the most terrible acting coming from M'Baku's character and some of the most dumbest dialogue ever, this movie is very tropey, campy, and it's just, to me, the script was just terrible. Come to find out, there's this final battle between Red and Lupita Nyong'o's character, right? We have this final fucking showdown at the end of the movie, and these two characters fight or whatever, and it is revealed, oh my god, they switched bodies at the beginning of the movie. That wasn't her character. The real little girl is downstairs, and then the other character was upstairs, and now they've switched places, trading places. Big fucking whoop-de-doo, right?
Not my fault she left. Look at you. That's not my fault. Well, look at me. Look at you.
Oh, come on!
The problem with this movie is that shit was obvious as shit. From the beginning of the movie, and the way that it's shown up, you're like, okay, most likely they switch places. Like, it only makes sense. So they had this big surprise at the end, and it comes to find out that us as the audience, we already knew what the hell was coming before it even came. So kudos to you guys for making such a predictable ass movie. On top of that, here's the real dumb part. The overall, can you guess what the overall, like, goal of the people from the underground was?
The world is a rainbow.
Yeah, the goal from the people underground was to just sit down and hold hands around the world just to make themselves show that they're visible because they saw it on TV. Dumbest fucking ending ever. I thought that was Jordan Peele's dud, and I was just like, yo, if he makes another movie like this, it is no way he can call himself, or no way that people can call him the new king of horror. You get what I'm saying? Sorry if I'm sweating profusely. It's hot in LA. It's like a freaking heat wave. Coming in at number 3, we have Titan, 2021 movie, foreign film, indie project, right? You guys know me. I love freaking indie movies, right? So I decided to take on Titan. Now, this movie is about this young lady who basically dances at a car club, right? Sexual go-go dancer, car club, whatever. All right. We find out that this young girl is actually a vicious serial killer. She kills. But then also she has a fucking car fetish because she got in an accident at the beginning of the movie, damn near got killed by a car. And for some reason, this is made, she gets horny when she sees cars, which makes absolutely no damn sense. But hey, whatever. I'm here for it. Right. So there's one scene where she is actually having sex with a car. Come to find out, fast forward to a couple of scenes later, she ends up being pregnant. Right. She ends up being pregnant. She freaks out, goes home, tries to get rid of some evidence because she just committed a murder, lights the bathroom on fire, locks her parents in the bedroom, burns the house down, kills her parents. But we're not done yet. She finds out she needs to go into hiding. So what she does is she pretends to be this man's long lost son that disappeared. So she hides her chesticles, hides her pregnancy, pretends to be this little boy, right? This man is a fire chief. We're going through this whole story of them building a relationship, so on and so forth. The man's ex-wife pops up, takes one fucking look at this girl, and is like, yeah, I know what you're doing. So whatever it is that you're doing, you better keep doing it. You better not break his heart or else, walks out, boom, situation's done. But then we get to the greatest ending ever. We get to the greatest ending ever. You ready? That was sarcasm, by the way. Is that she ends up giving birth to a freaking titanium baby.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And then she herself is starting to become Colossus from X-Men. This bitch is a mutant. I don't know what she is. Nah, I'm just kidding. But I don't know what the hell she is. I don't know what she's supposed to be, right? Here's the problem with this movie. Aside from the stupid ending that's supposed to shock audiences, the thing that makes this movie dumb is that you could have took out the whole fetish with cars thing. You could have just took that out. And what would have happened is that you would have had a cool movie about a chick that's pregnant, doing whatever she had to do to protect her kids, so on and so forth. Ends up growing close to this man who has like diabetes or some shit, and becomes pretty fond with him. Ends up actually having a family with him. Ends up having birth, complications during birth. She dies, baby lives. The man continues the family. Boom. He's no longer lonely anymore. That would have been a good ending. You don't need this whole weird car element in the movie. Like it's only done in there for shock value, and it adds absolutely nothing to the movie. The freaking metal baby makes absolutely no damn sense. That's why this movie is coming in at number 3, because that damn metal baby just doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't even understand why this bitch gave birth to a cannonball. I don't understand. Moving on. Coming in at number 2, we have Candyman 2021. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. The first and the second act of this movie are actually well done. The movie's really done. I like Sherman's character. I like the whole lore of the Candyman thing. I like them bringing back, Anthony. I like them bringing back him. I like the whole idea. I'm cool with that. Here's the problem. The problem with the movie is that third act /finish/climax /ending is fucking terrible, right? One, that shit was rushed as hell. She goes into the damn church, finds Anthony in some comatose state, sitting with old boy, and all of a sudden he just starts giving out this thing. Well, Candyman, he goes crazy and he starts killing people with the hook and and he's wrongfully killed by police officers. The story of Candyman continues, and it's just like, dude.
Yeah, I guess I'm on some other shit now, huh?
Obviously, the story of Candyman is continuing because Sherman's character is running around slaying people and killing them nationwide on your side. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it was just dumb.
Hey!
Like, why are we even having anyway? So she ends up killing this fool, the old boy, I forgot his name. And then she ends up running away from Anthony because Anthony's getting up and looking like he's going to kill her. The police have arrived on the scene. Anthony's half dead. They end up shooting him just for good measures. She's like, he wasn't a threat. You already know what it is. This is a whole like quasi police brutality, unfair treatment kind of message in the movie. To me, that was done poorly. If you were going to do this shit, you should have built up some sort of tension with the police officers throughout the film, but you didn't do that. They just kind of popped up and out of nowhere just execute the shit. Poorly fucking done. Then you have her get in the car with a callback to Candyman 3, says the name 5 times in the mirror.
What the hell did you just say?
Anthony's character rises up from the dead, kills everybody. And you have a horrible CGI Tony Todd. I'm just saying that shit was atrocious. So this ending to me was just pitiful. It was just horrible. One, it was rushed. Two, it was not like it seems like they were just like, yo, we need to finish this movie. Like, how are we going to finish this movie? Oh yeah, let the dude from the laundromat, let him let him finish the story. He was a crazy man all along.
The shit got stained in the exact same spot.
Oh yeah, but then how do we make Anthony Candyman? I don't know. Let some police officers shoot him, right? And I actually said this at the we saw the screening to this movie early, and we were in the crowd. We were in the feedback group, and I told this to the people that were asking questions. I'm like, dude, that was a fucking terrible ending. It felt rushed, and on top of that, it was pretty stupid. The whole police thing was dumb, and people were like, yo, that shit was tight. The way he killed them, da 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 this and da da da. Who gives a fuck about the way that he killed them? The reasoning behind why he killed them was dumb. You get what I'm saying? But I don't know. That to me, that was one of the most horrible. That was a horrible ending, especially for a movie that had really good momentum in the first and second half. Let me down. Coming in at number 1, we have 2022 movie Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends. Jamie Lee Curtis's character finally gets a retribution after 3 movies of bitching and whining and screaming and complaining. We finally get her retribution.
That I live in a world of I don't give a fuck, bitch.
And so this movie is all about Jamie Lee Curtis's character. She moved on. She assumes Michael's dead or whatever. She's just kind of moved on with her life with her niece, or no, her granddaughter. I'm sorry. And her granddaughter's kind of like slipping and sliding, and she's kind of dibbling and dabbling. She ends up fucking some dude who's not very liked in the neighborhood because he was just babysitting this douchebag ass kid, and he ended up killing him by accident. And he's been kind of like outlawed and kind of looked upon. He's become the neighborhood pariah. And then also Jamie Lee Curtis's character and her granddaughter have also inherited some of the beef because the town feels like they brought this cloud of Michael Myers over them, right? And long story short, I'm not even going to bore you guys with the rest of the story because this is a terrible fucking movie. Corey ends up running into Michael Myers and ends up becoming like his quasi protege, right? At times, Corey seems to be punking Michael Myers. And he basically punks him at the end of the movie for his mask. And actually takes on the mantle for a small bit of time and goes on killing a bunch of motherfuckers, right?
And you like that shit?
That shit is short-lived because he ends up having a little showdown with Jamie Lee Curtis character. He kills himself, and basically Laurie's granddaughter thinks she killed the man that she loves, right? So she goes running away crying like a little bitch. Michael Myers resurrects out of his pussified state. Out of nowhere, him and Curtis have this epic battle of catastrophic proportions to end the damn movie.
Fight back, nigga! Fight back! Fight back! Fight back! Fight Allah!
That was terrible.
Horrendous!
I'm offended.
I'm appalled!
And I have to say, this was one of the driest, most dumbest, most weakest fights I've ever seen in my fucking life. And then on top of that, it's like, how are you just overpowering Michael Myers this fucking much? It's crazy. Even her granddaughter's over here just with the power of menopause just broke the shit out of Michael Myers' arms like nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess her losing Corey really fucked with her, right? I don't know, man. Just watching this movie to me, I just didn't understand it. I felt like it was like just, oh my God. And then the way that they carry Michael Myers out, they carry him out, they have him tied up to the top of a car. Before they do that shit, she goes through everything. She slits his throat, cuts his wrist. She makes sure that Michael Myers is dead.
I said he was killed by a laser. Huh?
And then they have this whole ceremony as a town where they throw his body into a car crusher or a metal crusher or something, throw his body in there. and they turn him into sludge or whatever, right? And the town rejoices because Michael Myers is finally dead. Now, this is the problem I have with this movie because the ending is fucking terrible. If you're going to make Corey the quasi killer, what you should have did was you should have made the audiences believe that Michael Myers was really back and what it was true, and it ended up truly being Corey. And then you could have really lived up to the whole evil, the shape name, because evil just changes shapes. It changed from Michael Myers to Corey, right? And I think that would have made a lot more sense.
That makes sense.
But what did you do? You made Michael Myers a bad character. Then you're just like, yeah, we can't end it like that. Laurie and Michael have a feud. They hate each other. We have to find some way to end this shit. How can we end this shit? Oh, yeah, I got it. Let's have her and him have a epic fight in the kitchen and have her win. When Jamie Lee Curtis is the most frail looking old woman I've ever seen in my life, but it is what it is. Maybe she fucking hit him with that butt plug from everywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once. Who fucking knows? But anyway, look, man, that's my top 5 of the most horrible horror endings I've ever seen. Let me know what's your top 5? What movies do you think has the worst endings? I honestly could have just had a bunch of freaking Halloween movies, to be honest with you. I could have riddled this list with Halloween movies, especially Resurrection. But I mean, that's a conversation for another day. I didn't want to have too many Halloween movies in this list, so I just kind of like pumped the brakes, and I tried to give you guys a nice little variety. I did a couple, mostly new, some old. You know, I think the only oldest one I got is Cedar Chuck, and that's an early 2000s movie. But hey, man, I tried. Anyway, let me know your top 5 worst horror movies in the comment section down below. You are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. I'm going to see you guys next time. Adios.